Could also speak without the mask because it does get quite uncomfortable.
Allowed.
Thank you, sir. Sir, at the very outset, I would like to thank all the honorable members from the opposition, Dr. Mukul Sangma and the other 10 members. I'm sorry, to save time, I will not read all the names out, who have brought this no confidence motion. And I would like to thank the honorable members, Shri H.M. Champliang, Shri S.G. Ismatur Mominin, Shrimati Amperin Lingdo, Shri Lambor Malanyang, Shri Merylbon CM, Shri Azad Zaman, Shri Samle Malinyang, Shri George Bilingdo, Shri Saling A. Sangma, Shri P.T. Sokme, Shri Gavin William, Shri Mohendra Rapsang, Shri Rakam A. Sangma, Shri Nojurki Sungo, Shri Zenith Sangma, Shri Sanbor Shulai, Shri Charles Pindrop, Shri Edelbert Nongrum, Dr. Mukul Sangma, and also members who had wanted to participate but because of positive time were not, which is Shri Vailat Miki Shila, Shrimati Ferlin Sangma, Shri Balajit Sindram. Sir, I would like to first of all thank the opposition for actually bringing this out, because it does give an opportunity to the government, not just the opposition, but to the government also, to really communicate and clarify a number of issues and communicate to the people the kind of things that have been done in the past 2.5 years. But having said that, it's very surprising. I think in whatever memory that I can remember, this must be most probably one of the first no confidence motions where before the voting the members already have given up and said that we may not win this no confidence, and they have already accepted defeat before even the voting. So it's a very unique case, I should say. But nonetheless, as I said, it gave an opportunity to everybody. Sir, I would also request if the members, I'm sure they will not disturb, but through you, sir, I would request if I'm not disturbed during the course of my reply. Sir, I think I'll start off with just a basic few aspects on the discussion that we're having. Some members mentioned that why should we compare? That this government always compares from the past and now. But I think it's important to compare, because that's when you see the difference in what's happening and what's not happening. And it's also very surprising to see the way the opposition would like to use its words to take credit for something if it is good and to blame us if it's something bad. Very, very, articulately, they always ensure that if something went wrong, then it's this government that did it. But if something has gone right, it was us who did it in the past. So we should remember, governance is a process. Government will come and go, but the process of governance will continue. And that is why it's always referred to as the government. Whichever party or whichever person was there, it was always looked at as a continuous process, and we should always judge everything with the same yardstick. So that's a very, very important point I want to mention before I would start my reply. And so before I even go into all those aspects, I would like to say that there were some incidents today that took place in the House, and I think it is appropriate as the leader of the House to mention that these kind of incidents should not happen in the future. We are here representing the people, and the entire state, I think, is watching us as we speak. So I think we should give a good example to the people that we act responsibly. And yes, we may have differences, acquisitions, but that's fine. That's part of the democratic process. But I think we should respect each other and we should maintain the decorum. Having said that, sir, I would like to go on to touch some of the important issues which have been mentioned during the course of this discussion. Sir, a number of times there were a number of members from the opposition who mentioned about law and order situation. In fact, one of the members from the opposition even mentioned that the last 2.5 years has been one of the worst periods when it came to law and order in our state. The member also mentioned that in the last 2.5 years, Meghalaya's overall law and order situation has gone down to one of the worst in the country. So let me just reflect some numbers to show what is happening in the law and order. From 2015 to 2017, 66 militants were killed. In 2018 to 2020, during our government, 3 militants were killed. 66 during that time and 3 during this time. 36 civilians were killed from 2015 to 2017. And during 2018-20, only 4, which is sad. Not even 1 should have been died, but I'm just comparing the numbers from 36 to 4. 9 police personnel were killed in 2015 to 2017. And in 2018 to 21. Civilians abducted, 210 in 2015 and 2017. And in 2018-2020, 0. 0, sir. I think the numbers are clear in front of everybody to know what the law and order situation has been. I think numbers speak. You can have your opinion, you can say what you want to say, but I think numbers are very clear. They talked about crime against women. From 2017 to 2018, there was a drop of 33% in the cases in crime against women and children. 36%, 33% drop. Again, the POSCO case, from 2017 till 2019, there was a drop of 13.1%. Sir, aren't these indications to show that clearly the law and order situation has been improving in the state? A lot more needs to be done. Nobody is denying that fact. But I think we are clearly seeing the situation improve, and it's very, very misleading and wrong on part of the opposition to say that the situation has been worst in the past 2.5 years, and we are at the bottom of law and order situation. So some of the members were mentioning about communal tension and the fact that there's never been a situation in the past where the communal riots or communal tension took place. I would like to draw the attention of this House that in 2013, there were bombs, petrol bombs that were hurled onto the puja pandals in Rebhoy and in Umsning during the puja time. I'm not saying that we are doing great work or anything, but at least by God's grace, our pujas this time went off peacefully. But in 2013, there were petrol bombs hurled on puja pandals in Rebhoy and Umsning. In 2017, similarly, in Laban, in Nongminson, in Rinja, in Lumdiangji, on the May 27th, against petrol bombs were hurled. Again, sir, on June 25th, 2017, at Ladshap in East Khasi Hills, a shop of a non-tribal was burnt, sir. Sir, these kind of situations have happened in the past also. What I'm just trying to say is for you to just simply point a finger and say that situation has just changed in 2018 is again incorrect and misleading. There have been many instances, and I can go on, sir. I've got a full list of incidents, but I think I just want to make my point clear about the fact that in the past 2.5 years, the law and order in the situation in the state has improved drastically, and I would really like to congratulate our police personnel who have been doing a tremendous job, the former minister, the current minister, and all the bureaucrats who have really ensured that law and order has been maintained to a large extent in our state. So coming to another very important issue which has been mentioned by the honorable members is regarding the illegal coal. And every time the opportunity is given, they get up and talk about illegal coal that is, according to them, it's there. So let me just clarify that all the honorable members have been saying that every time we go, we see the different vehicles, a number of trucks are passing. Sir, I have already clarified in the explanation that I have given to the House earlier that the coal that is being sent right now is through a process of seizure. And therefore, the coal is being seized. Whenever there is an application or information that comes through the people in general about coal that has been lying, the government and the administration swiftly acts on it to ensure that whatever action has to be taken is taken, and we immediately seize the coal. So therefore, these are provisions that are there in the guidelines of the MMDR Act in section 21, and it is based on that that these particular seizures have taken place, and it is based on those seizures today. In fact, sir, the revenue that has been coming in has been multifold based on these seizures. The reason is very simple. Number one, that there is a revenue that comes in from the coal sale itself, because that coal then belongs to the government. So we don't only get the royalty and the cess and the GST, but the value of the coal also comes to the government of Meghalaya. So it's an increased revenue that comes to us, and it is much more. In fact, the revenue that is coming in is much higher. So this is also an important aspect which I thought I should bring it to the notice of this particular, of the House, sir. So therefore, having said that, I think it's important, sir, to understand that whatever process and whatever guidelines have to be followed are being followed. And today, all the trucks, any kind of coal movement or transportation that is taking place legally with proper procedure and all the documents that should be there, and there is no illegal coal movement. Everybody in the opposition and sometimes in the media, they try to make it look as if every truck that is moving is illegal. So they just see any truck move and they say, oh, that's an illegal truck. So that is not the way to assess. So documents have to be seen. We have been very, very clear, very particular. We have had task forces, joint operations taking place from all the departments that are continuously monitoring this entire process. And we have the media itself who does the monitoring for us, NGOs who do the monitoring for us. And all will see that documents are clearly available. So let me draw the attention of the House to the issue of illegal coal. Now, once again, sir, again, I am not comparing, but I am compelled to mention these facts in the House. In the audit report for 2013-14, audit report of for the period of 2013-14 to 17-18, the report clearly mentioned sir, that illegal coal is being transported. This was done in the audit report, sir, not by Meghalaya government, but the CAG report mentioned, to the tune of 27.87 lakh metric ton of illegal coal was transported during the period 2013-14 to 17-18, sir. And this amounts to a loss of over 180 crores to the state revenue. Now, sir, it's very surprising to see that it is very easy for the opposition to forget that during 2013-14, 17-18, it was during their government time that these things happened. Now they speak about all the looting that has been taking place and the loss of revenue and the future of our children. I don't know why you didn't think about this in 2013-14 and 17-18 when this illegal transportation of coal was taking place. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, as I said, it's easy to forget that there was a time when you and the government was there, not you, sir, the opposition was there. When the opposition was there as a ruling, and during their time, similar things happened, sir. So when it comes to coal, I think the House may be made aware that even during January 18, 2018, as close as 2 months to the election results, there was 6.9 lakh metric ton of coal, which was then sent for assessment after some people had made applications. 43 people had applied for this coal. Now let me tell the House, sir, when this 6.9 lakh metric ton of coal application was given by certain individuals to the government then, there were no GPS coordinates of these locations for the assessment report. No GPS location. No declared quantity was mentioned by the coal owners. And this application went directly to the NGT without the NGT committee. And very surprisingly, when the final allotment was made and challans were given, out of the 6.9 lakh metric ton, 5.4 lakh went to a certain agency and a certain company who again has got different links, and I do not want to take names out here, but 5.4 lakh metric tons of that amount was given. What happened to process then? What happened to procedure that time? What happened to the entire belief that the state is being looted? How can you give an assessment without the GPS coordinates?
Match fixing.
Sir, match. So maybe there was match fixing in that. I'm not very sure, sir. But sir, it's important, and I don't want to take names, sir, because I don't want to get personal into these matters. But these are for the people to see. But anyway, sir, having said that, what is important to understand is that coal plays a very important role in the economy of our people, as mentioned by Mr. Conrad K Sangma. Whether challenges we faced, different NGT orders we got, we as a society and as a state and as a government, it is our duty to ensure that wherever we can help and legally move forward to ensure that the coal economy or the sector can revive, it is our duty to do that, sir. But after 2014, when the NGT ban took place, this NGT ban, which was given by, the Honorable NGT, the opposition, which was ruling and then, did not bother to take up the matter to resolve it. In fact, at that point in time, if they had immediately gone to the Supreme Court and immediately challenged the order of the NGT, maybe our miners would not have to go and suffer so much. But we don't know what the reason inside is. Again, maybe match fixing, sir. But we don't know the reasons why they did not challenge this. It is only in 2018 when our government came in. We took the initiative to discuss with Government of India. Not only that, when we realized that this has to be taken to an aggressive level of challenging the order, we challenged it in Supreme Court. And after challenging that order in Supreme Court, sir, we were able to deliver justice, not just to the coal miners, but to the people of our state. And the reason is that the court order said that the land, the surface and the subsurface belongs to the tribal people. This is the reinforcement of our right over our land, sir. It is a landmark judgment that went in. And this is to the commitment that we have made to the people, which was being referred to by one of the members from the opposition, that we went and gave a commitment that we will lift the ban, and we didn't do anything. I think the honorable member forgot that they didn't do anything for 4 years, and it was during our time that we actually went ahead and we took this step, and that is why today, sir, the Supreme Court has allowed coal mining to take place and said that the surface and the subsurface rights belong to the tribals and the owners of the land. But yes, as responsible citizens, we must follow certain procedure. We must follow the Environment Protection Act, we must have the Mining Safety Act, and we must follow the MMDR Act. So therefore, sir, these aspects are very important. Sir, having said that, sir, there were some points that were mentioned regarding the Umiam Lake and the dam that is there and the concerns over it. Sir, let me assure the House that both the MECL as well as the mining department and the district administration and the police are watching over this entire aspect, and we will ensure that whatever movement takes place is done within a safety procedure and within safety level, which is what has been instructed to the MECL, and only on the basis of that are any movements being allowed. It has happened in the past. It's not that it's something new that's happening, but I think I take the suggestions given by the members positively. We must be careful, and I can assure the House that we will be careful about this aspect, sir. Sir, coming to certain issues regarding health services, and I think though there was not much mention about it, I would like to put it on record today, sir. We had a detailed discussion about the 399 crores that was spent. And a lot of people questioned the 399 crores. Sir, I would like to place it on record that the government spending 399 crores should be seen as the government's commitment to ensure that the people of the state are safe. I don't think it's right for us to look at this from a cost-benefit analysis point of view. So we feel it and we do it whenever our family members are not well. We don't think and question twice that whether we should take the person to the best medical facility or not. We will take. It may cost us, but we will do it. Why? Because we realize that health is important. So therefore, sir, this 399 crores that we spent has been spent in the interest of the people. We have touched 5 lakh citizens of our state through this. We have been able to build 25 Corona care centers. We have been able to increase the beds from 600 to 1,800 beds in the state today for Corona, any kind of situations. And in these Corona care centers, more than 13,000 people have stayed for more than 10-15 days, where food has been supplied to them free of cost, sir. All these things do cost money, and I strongly feel that the government is very well prepared even for the future. We don't know how complicated things will be in the future, but we strongly feel that these investments we have made will help us face different situations from COVID or any other ailment or the overall health sector in the future also, sir. And I think if you look at the responses that are coming in social media regarding the kind of facilities that were provided, the food that was provided, so there is no question that the quality was of the highest level. And all citizens of the state and those who experienced it have expressed their happiness over the quality openly in social media. There are individuals who criticize the government. Those individuals have also thanked the government for the different facilities that were provided in the Corona Care Center. And I must take this opportunity to thank our health minister and the entire team of health workers, the entire frontline workers, for having done this tremendous job of ensuring that we are one of the lowest number of COVID cases in the country today. Sir, having said that, I would like to touch a bit on the agriculture aspect of things also. And in the last, in the opening remarks mentioned by one of the honorable members, he had mentioned about 9.02 crores of scheme being desanctioned. So let me bring it to the notice of the House that, number one, sir, I have to say it because it is a fact, but I hope he doesn't move, again, privilege against me, that he did not do his homework well, sir. Now, this 9.2 crore schemes have been sanctioned, some in 2000, 2001, 2002, all the way till 2014. 50 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 1 crore, and the schemes were never implemented. So this money has been lying with the department for 20 years, some schemes, and not being used in a proper manner. So what did this government do to ensure that we use the funds in a proper manner? Yes, we desanctioned the schemes, we got the money back into the treasury, and we have now reallotted that money back into the agriculture department so that that money can be put to good use. So these were monies that were lying for 20 years in the department. So I think it's important to understand that it's not just we just desanctioned it and left the scheme. Absolutely not. Money has been resanctioned. Today, if you look at the different missions, we have sanctioned almost 5 crores for 4 missions. That is amounting to 20 crores. We have sanctioned about 3 crores to give interest subvention to our farmers who have taken KCC loan. We have sanctioned 4 crores to provide power tillers at subsidized rates to our farmers. We have sanctioned 10 crores for processing, food processing plants, which will be then given to the young entrepreneurs and the farmers. We have invested 10 crores in apiculture, which is honey processing and honey breeding center. We are going to almost give 25,000 households 200 crore loan at zero interest rate through the piggery mission that has been initiated by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and the Veterinary Department. Apart from that, today, markets have been set up in Lumrapleng market, the Ladsmith market, the Shiliang Soyong market, and like that, many other markets have been set up. And the Honorable Agriculture Minister himself in the last 6 months, in spite of the challenges, has been going from village to village, trying to figure out how he could improve the overall status of the farmers. And these different interventions have been only made possible because of the interventions made by him. Today, sir, you'll be happy to know that the broomstick that the farmers used to grow, after we have categorized it as a non-forest product, and so that it's an agroforest product, so people don't have to take a TP from the state government. Today, the broomstick price is at 120, 130 rupees. It never went up more than 90 rupees. So for the first time, our farmers are getting these kind of prices. So I think we must realize that the Agriculture Department has been doing a tremendous job, and in the next coming few months, you will see more interventions that will take place in the agriculture sector too. So coming to a very, very important sector for us, which is education. And so in education, I must again put on record the commitment that has been shown by our Education Minister and the department to transform education. We have always said that education is a priority for us, and it always will be. And the reason is very simple, sir, that we feel that education is the key for the future generation to, as I said always, to be productive and to be able to add value to the state, to their families, and to the country as a whole. Apart from the fact that as soon as we came into office, we ensured that we went ahead with the education policy which had been pending for a very, very long time. And this education policy is what is driving us today in the direction to improve the overall education sector. So, realizing that through education, we can transform our youth, who will further transform our state as a whole. We realized that there was a lack of infrastructure at the grassroots level. Let me give an example, sir. Out of the 2,000 plus, almost 2,500 elementary schools that we have, 70% do not have proper infrastructure. 70%, sir. And I've mentioned this in the past. Realizing Memorial, Warit, Langtor, Pariong, Domesiat, Buripara, Kanduli, Modimai, Kongla, just to name a few of the LP schools that need immediate intervention. And so, sir, in the last 2 years, wherever we could source the funds, we have taken funds from MOTA, from NEC, from state budget, and we have been able to give basic infrastructure and additional classrooms to over 200 elementary schools. And now, this year, we have decided that the numbers will be increased to 200 every year. So from this year onwards, 200 LP schools will be improved every year, for which we have decided to keep a budget of over 300 crores to improve the LP schools in the next 3 years. Apart from that, sir, in 2008-2009, we had provincialized 3 colleges, namely Bakmara, Captain Williamson Sangma Memorial College, then Sora College, and William Nagar College. And it is sad to see that the fact that these 3 locations absolutely required this particular intervention. It was sad to see that after 2008, the governments did not pay any attention to these colleges. These colleges were functioning from the same building that they have been for the past 20 years. I was in Sora that day. They were mentioning almost 30 years, 35 years they've been functioning in the same infrastructure that they had from the beginning, sir. And therefore, when I visited Bakmara College, I saw the condition of the college. There were some locations where the floor was missing on the first floor. I went to the first floor and I could only see the jali. There is no more RCC left out there. You go to some of the rooms inside, you could actually see the pillars breaking. And really, sir, I was listening to one of our officers speaking the other day. He talked about how he went to Rambai school. And when he went there, he realized and he could feel the pain of what the students were going through. So this is the kind of reactions you get when you actually visit, and that's why Cabinet on the Move is important. Because you need to see this with your own eyes. That's when you realize. And when the education department came forward and said we must improve it, I said, what will be the cost? They said we need 12 crores per college. Sir, it did not even take us 5 minutes to make the decision. Immediately finance and education sat there, planning sat there, and we decided to sanction and give approval for these 3 colleges. And I'm happy to inform the House that these colleges will come up in the next 24 months. So apart from that, there was a lot of talk about community colleges. And yes, a lot of work had been done, but the decision to actually sanction the post, decision to actually give the money was sadly never taken, sir. It was only when we came in, realizing how much the financial impact will be, we worked through the whole thing, and I must give credit to our education minister. It was a very, very difficult decision, but he decided and he was very firm saying, sir, we need these colleges. And we worked on the financials, and finally the approval was given by this government in the past 1 year, and now these 9 community colleges also will be coming up. So apart from these, sir, if you go, I don't know if you've ever gone that side, sir, but you go to Karkuta. I don't know if the honorable member from Mausangram, when he was mentioning that he was in Karkuta last time. Have you gone to the higher secondary school in Karkuta, sir? Sir, there are no windows. There are no doors. In some places, there's no ceiling, no roof either. They are functioning without furniture. This is a government higher secondary school. You go to Resu, the Honorable Deputy Speaker was telling me that half the building is, in a dilapidated condition. You go to Dalu Higher Secondary School. The Honorable MLA from Dalu is right here. And he will tell you what a dilapidated condition it is in. Rambai Secondary School. Honorable MLA had taken me, Honorable Minister, who is also the local MLA, had taken me in 2018. And like the officers who were completely taken aback, when I saw Rambai School, I said, how can the children study here? And it is the only secondary school in the whole of East Jaintia Hills. The whole of East Jaintia Hills, sir. Soka Higher Secondary School. Therefore, we made a conscious decision, keeping in mind our focus on education, that we must give priority to education. Sir, I'm happy to inform you that we have sanctioned funds for Karkuta 4 crores, Resu 2.5 crores, Dalu 3 crores, Rambai 3 crores, and Soka 3 crores to build up new buildings for these higher secondary schools, sir. This is our commitment to our future generation. This is what we talk about commitment. Not just speech and lecture, sir, but actual action and actual work. Sir, apart from that, you must be aware that we have been, in the past 2 years, 2.5 years, a lot of effort has gone into ensuring that teachers are trained. Almost 20,000 teachers are being trained as we speak. We've also realized that students need more help when it comes to scholarship. So you'll be happy to know, and the whole house will be happy to know, that we have increased the scholarship 4 times for the students. 4 times, sir. So if somebody was getting 5,000, will now get 20,000. If somebody was getting 20,000, it'll be increased to 40,000, sir. So therefore, depending on the category, the scholarships have gone up on an average almost 4 times. And these are the kind of interventions that we've been looking at. When we came in to the government, sir, there were 3 EMRS schools that were given to us. I think 2 or 3. So 3 EMRS schools were given to us by the Tribal Affairs Ministry. And I think there was no effort made after that to follow up that why the other blocks did not get the EMRS schools. And for the information of this house, every block is supposed to get 1 Eklavya model residential school, funded 100% by Government of India, and given 100% funds to run it for minimum 5 years' time. This scheme was lying unutilized by the state government. But when we came into the government, we realized that this chunk of money, which is meant for Meghalaya, has not been moved on. So I guess, there were people who were busy, counting the 95 lakh metric ton and the 1.4 lakh crore metric ton and assessing and all these things. They forgot that they have to go for EMRS schools also. And it was during our government, sir, I'm happy to inform you that we got sanctioned for 40 EMRS schools, new ones, amounting to 800 crores of investment in the education sector, sir. It's unprecedented, sir. So therefore, sir, I don't want to use these words because I think it will not be correct for me to say it, but these are words of the Honorable Education Minister when he said in one of the speeches he gave, if I'm not wrong, it was in Sora, when he said that these investments that are being made are going to be transformational for the education sector. These are the exact words used by him. These are the words that are being used by our officers who are with us. It will not be appropriate for me to name because this is not appropriate, but the officers have told that the investments that are being made is going to be transformational in nature, sir. So continuing with education and the youth, we must understand that we have 68% of our population which is below the age of 30 years, sir. Therefore, it will be very important for us to take care of this youth. And it is very important that we come out with the right policies and the right investments, especially keeping in mind this COVID time, sir. I just heard one of the members mentioning about the work that the government is doing to help the returnees. What have we done for it? Sir, I'd like to inform the House that with Government of India and through the intervention of NEC, that Meghalaya government will be spending 7 crores to give 1,000 units financial support. More than 1,000 units of returnees will be given financial support to start their business here, to do something that they like to do. And for this, the government is mobilizing, and if necessary, more investments will be made in this line, but we are starting with this investment of 7 crores, which is going to come in, and more than 1,000 beneficiaries of returnees will be benefited with this amount. Apart from this, Honorable Member again was mentioning about, from Laimukra was mentioning about the loans, the micro loans that we had discussed. Sir, I would like to clarify that when you start a business, one has to realize that there has to be cash inflow. Some of the cash is your own cash, some maybe government will subsidize, and some you have to take financial help from banks. This is how business works throughout the world. So there has been a lack of, I should say lack of interest or the risk-taking factor where a lot of the youth have not availed financial loans from the market. So therefore, Government of Meghalaya has gone for a special intervention where we are not giving loan, but we are giving incentive as a grant to the individuals so that they can take further loans. So if somebody takes a loan, the government will give 10, 15 or 20% of that amount as a grant so that they can use that money to repay back that loan. So it's an incentive which we're giving, not as a loan, but to encourage somebody to take a loan. And I'm happy to inform the House that we will be spending 18 crores from our budget to achieve this, and 34,000 youths will be benefited by this plan of ours. So at the same time, continuing with the aspect of youth and the aspect of ensuring that these micro units come up, entrepreneurship has been key for this government. And we have ensured that we push entrepreneurship at every level. So it's very, very clear. Government cannot be doing business. We are very clear about that. Government should be a facilitator. Government should be a policy maker. And government should be something that is going to create the ecosystem. It is the entrepreneurs who will drive the engine of growth for the state and for any country, for that matter of fact. And that has been the economic model that has worked in most parts of the world, sir. But sadly, there has never been a push towards ensuring that entrepreneurship picks up. Our government realized that gap, that vacuum that was there. And that is the reason why we started by recognizing some of the young entrepreneurs who have struggled and just come up on their own. And that is why we came up with what we call the Meg Era Award. It's a Meghalaya Entrepreneurship Recognition Award. The idea being that let us give a pat on the back to some of our youngsters who are doing good. And we gave them financial support. We gave them training from different departments to ensure that they can upscale their business so that they can become models for others to see, so that they can also be more inspired and do bigger things. So this award was created. And apart from doing these awards, we also went for a competition to promote the spirit of entrepreneurship. And we called it the E-Championship Award, where 50 entrepreneurs were selected with the best business ideas. We had 700 entrepreneurs who participated in that program, and out of them, 50 were selected. And even today, the government is working closely with them to help them and others through them so that they can come up in entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship has been key for this government. And apart from that, we have come up with different centers, incubation centers and prime hub centers in different parts of the state. And we intend to take it all the way to the grassroots level, sir. So here, I would like to make a very special mention of one very important project that we plan to go forward with, sir. So this is in line with the youth policy. So we have realized that we are doing so many things when it comes to the youth. Education, which is just one part. Sports, which is just one part. Entrepreneurship, which is just one part. Like that, there are many areas. Health is very important. Giving counseling to them is very important. Ensuring that teenage pregnancies are reduced. Ensuring that substance abuse is reduced. These all need to be connected with the policy. When the policy comes in, it will connect these dots. And I had mentioned about this in the last time I had replied to one of the motions, I think, on teenage pregnancy, that we are going to come up with e-coupons. Now, these e-coupons is going to target all the youth of the state. Our intention of the government is to be one of the first states in the country where we will ensure that every youth has a skill. We will ensure that every youth is allowed to follow their hobby and their passion. How will we do that? I'll take 2 minutes to explain, sir. We intend to give 6 months coupon for a sport that you might like to train in, and a 6-month coupon for a skill that you might want to train in. So there'll be a skill coupon and there'll be a hobby coupon. And you'll be allowed to train for 6 months under these two programs. 1 month, 1 month, 1 month. And we will roughly give about 1,000 rupees per coupon in this. So 12 months program divided into 2 parts. And this will be targeted for children who are between the age of 13 to 16 or 18. The idea being that any period of time between 13 and 18, you can avail these coupons. You can take these 6 coupons and you can start learning music. Now, I know that I think half this room knows how to sing, and half, maybe at least 30% of this room can play a music instrument. But can you actually read music? You can't read music. It's just natural for us. But imagine if I can start reading music. Maybe I'll be able to upskill that talent of mine and be able to take it to a new level. So why can't we have a 6 months training program where we will be able to train this youth who's into music? And if I can learn music in 6 months, which is possible to read music, I think it'll help me in the future. It'll upscale the talent that we have. Now, how do we plan to do this is also very important, sir. So similarly, we'll have the same thing for skill. I may want to learn a skill of making a mask or stitching a mask. I may want to go for a skill of repairing the mobile phone. Any skill, but every youth must have a skill. This will be the policy that we're going to come up with. And every youth must follow their passion for 6 months. Football, well, we'll train you football. So this is first part of the policy. The second part of the policy is there will be service providers who will train these youth. Now, how does this work, sir? This works because these coupons of 1,000 is not going to go to some outsider. It's going to go to a service provider here in Meghalaya. So the youth between the age of 25, 35 will become these service providers. We expect that we'll have 1,000 of these service providers certified by us. And these service providers could be a footballer. He will come and he will take a certificate that he is allowed to now give training for football. These youth who want to learn football can then go to this service provider, give the coupon to him, or her, and then train football for 6 months, and we will pay that service provider. This serves two purposes. One, it takes care of the youth between 13 and 18 who will be given the skill and allowed to follow their passion and hobby, and it will create employment for about 10,000 people who will become service providers. And this money will go to them. We expect anything between 30 to 50 crores will be invested in this, but this will go a long way in ensuring that we direct the energy of the youth in the right direction. And I think this program, will be one of the first in the country. I don't think any other state has it. And we have really studied the models in different parts of the world to come out with this very unique and innovative model. And we'll be discussing this with the Government of India for also financial support. So this youth policy will have these kind of interventions in it, and it will also connect these different dots of entrepreneurship, health, counseling, because we want to ensure that these counseling centers are there in every district, in every block, and colleges and universities. We also want to ensure that the service providers are all over the state, not just in Shillong or Tura. We'll try to ensure that there will be at least 5-6 of them in all the districts that are there, and if possible, we'll go down to the block level. It has to start in a phase-wise manner. It cannot just simply happen, but this is the prospect and the idea that we're moving forward with. So having said that, I would like to come to a very, very important subject, which is infrastructure, sir. So here I would like to just mention a few aspects of infrastructure. So what I mentioned in the beginning of my speech and my reply was saying that governance is a continuous process. As a government, we have not tried to sideline the old projects that have been started by the past government, because governance is governance. If something has been started, it is a duty of the government to complete it. Therefore, though there were a lot of challenges, and though there were no financial resources, no planning that was put in to how the funds will be raised to complete the projects that were started earlier, we have tried our best to ensure that we come out with funds, resources from our different areas to be able to fund these projects. Nongstoin Water Supply Scheme, 134 crores. Only 56 crores has been spent, and it has been just lying in limbo. Just small steps have been taken to complete it. So we have taken a decision that we will be funding the rest of the money that's required to finish the Nongstoin Water Supply Scheme, and this process will start this year itself with an investment of over 25 crores for this financial year itself, sir. Similarly, Rimbai Water Supply Scheme. I went in 2018, and I saw that, and I asked the Honorable Minister, how long have these pipes been lying here? He said these pipes have been lying here for 10 years now, sir. Similar to what Silsila MLA had mentioned. And so when I went and I saw the reservoir and I saw the pipes lying, I said, no, this is a waste, and we must ensure that the money that has been spent should be properly used. And therefore, we went ahead, and almost 10 crores has been spent in the last 2 years to ensure that the project is revived again, and today the work has started. We are hopeful that work for Rimbai Water Supply Scheme will also finish very soon. Tura Water Supply Scheme. Again, an investment made, but work half done and just left. So therefore, when we came in, we realized that these are important. So therefore, there was a necessity to invest another 35-40 crores. And immediately after coming into the government, after the then MLA, who is now our Honorable MP, and the Honorable MLA from North Tura, when they came and submitted the memorandum, we immediately accepted it. And the Tura water supply, the augmentation of the supply is today almost 100% complete. Similarly, sir, there were model schools that this past government, who is now in the opposition, had started. And this started in 2011 and 2013. 16 crores spent, and then project was left. No money, everything stopped. What do? We could act as a very, very tough ruling versus opposition and say, no, we will not do this project. But that's not the attitude we have. If the work is started, we should try to complete it. I'm happy to inform this House, sir, that we have agreed to sanction the rest of the 16 crores required to finish these model schools that are there, that have been just lying pending. And that's the kind of attitude that we're working with. Residential schools started in 2011-12, 28 crores spent, and again, nothing happened. You go, and in a lot of locations you'll find that these residential schools, no work is happening as of now. So we realize that these are assets that, though the planning was not there earlier, though the government just decided randomly that we'll have this, but no idea where the money will come from, they did it. The intention was good, planning was bad. Nonetheless, sir, it's our duty to continue the process and complete it. I'm happy to inform the House that to complete these residential schools, the government has decided to give the necessary funds, starting with 10 crores this year itself, sir. Sir, coming to a very interesting topic, which I would like to just take some time to discuss, is regarding the Ganol water hydropower project, sir. Sir, I would like to just draw the attention of all the members to a word that was used by the leader of opposition. It's called price determination, if I'm getting the correct word. Price determination. So let me just inform the House that in 2014, when the Ganol project was tendered out, the price determination was 116 crores based on the DPR. 116 crores, 116. But when the work was allotted, it was allotted at 248 crores, 114% above the price determined by the DPR that was there. So I don't know, sir, what kind of a criminal mind was there that time, or I don't know what kind of match fixing was there. Here there was a 25-50% increase. That time there was 114% increase in the amount, sir. So I'm not very sure that the emotions that were coming out earlier of how we should have saved the money, how come these emotions were not there in 2014? It's very surprising, sir. Where the determined price was 116 and the contract was awarded at 248. Let me go into micro details also, sir. Excavation was supposed to be at 2.4 crores. But what was the ultimate amount that was given? 24 crores. 2.4 crores was the estimate, but in the final order, it was 24 crores. Dewatering was 1.15 crores in the DPR, but ultimately it went up to, from 1.15 to 16 crores. Then the pen stock was supposed to be 5 crores in the DPR, but it went up to 24.8 crores. So, sir, I don't know if the same emotion was there at that time in 2014. I think the Honorable LO would have done justice to this project also. And that's the reason why we have 350 crores now on this project. So maybe brilliant scripting that time too. There's a brilliant scripting done, to increase the value from 116 to 248. Sir, I'm not here now to go into all these details of why this happened, who's did this micro thing. My point here is very simple, sir, that there are certain conditions and situations which could have occurred. So maybe at that time when Ganol project was supposed to be at 116 crores, maybe there was a justified reason why it went up to 248. But is it right for me to presume that there was a conspiracy? Is it right for me to presume that there was a brilliant scripting? Was it right for me to presume that there was price determination was done and it was misused? Is it right for me to presume that people were greedy? It's not, sir. We are here working. Due diligence must have been done. All the different procedures were followed. If there was any case, then somebody would have gone to court. And if there was something finding, then the court will obviously do what is necessary. And for us to sit in this house and doubt the court has also been part of the conspiracy, I think is very unfair, sir. So my point here, sir, is I'm just trying to compare and let the House know that these situations could happen. Now, I'm giving you facts, sir, of what happened in Ganol project. And these are much higher than what was being mentioned about the other schemes, the Saubhagya scheme and other schemes, sir. So therefore, this could go on. The honorable members were mentioning about MECL, unbundling. So when the unbundling took place, the employees had to be given 800 crores, which was never given that time. The entire liability of that 800 crores now has come on us. So when the unbundling was being done in a professional manner, in a proper manner to make sure everything goes well, this aspect of 800 crores was forgotten. And today now we have to work on this. And so therefore, sir, it's very easy for somebody to come in and just take out one number from here, and put the two dots, connect the two dots and come up with a story. Things don't work like that. And I think the opposition, and especially the Honorable LO, knows that things are much more complicated than simply connecting two dots which may have no connection at all. So coming to a very important aspect of infrastructure, which is roads. And I think it's very important to mention out here that the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and the entire PWD department has been working very, very aggressively to ensure that maximum road projects came in. So in the last few years, 2.5 years, we have projects worth over 2,000 crores that have come in and that have been sanctioned, sir. And another 800 crores will be sanctioned in the next 2 months' time, sir. And just to name a few, through the World Bank project that we got, which is an externally aided project of almost 1,000 crores. So I'm happy to inform the House that important roads like the Nongstoin-Mauet Road, which has been left unattended for the past 30 years. Previous governments came and went, nobody bothered to think about the people of West Khasi Hills, to think about the people of Nongstoin and Mauet. But I'm happy to inform that all these 53 villages along this road will now get a brand new road through the World Bank project, thanks to our Deputy Chief Minister and the PWD department, sir. So similarly, the road from Balat to Renku, a road that is so critical for the people living in the border area. And this area has got this road which has not been repaired again, sir, for the past donkey's years, sir. And I'm happy to inform this House that through the intervention, the local MDC has met me many times to discuss this issue. And through the intervention of that, we were able to sanction this road. And now the work for this road also will be allotted within this calendar year. And we're hopeful that by January, February, the actual construction of the Balat-Renku road, which has been completely left abandoned. People have just forgotten them. Our local MLA comes and talks a lot about the issues out there. I think this was an important issue which we needed to work together. But nonetheless, it has happened now and we're moving forward with it. And we will see that this road also has been constructed very soon. The Riangdo-Hahim road, again another very, very important road which has been neglected for many, many years. Again, a road that will be taken up, sir. Apart from that, within the next 2 months, another 800 crores will be again sanctioned and roads will be constructed in different parts. That includes the Dadeng Hill Road, Pulbari Road, which is the oldest road in Garo Hills, and it has never ever been repaired in the past, sir. Small repairs have taken place, potholes have been fixed, but no real construction has been done. I'm happy to inform the House and the people of Dadengri constituency, North Turaton constituency, Pulbari constituency, that we have sanctioned 145 crores to build this new road for the people of West Garo Hills area. So just to give an idea to the entire House on the kind of work that we've been putting in to ensure more and more development comes in. Sir, in the earlier regime, we had projects under PMGSY. That was, just to give an idea, sir. Yeah. So from 2015 to 2018, under PMGSY, we had a sanction of or allocation of 200 crores. But comparatively, if you look, in 2018-20, we have an allocation and expenditure of 1,730 crores, which is more than 1,000% increase in the amount of expenditure sanctions that has taken place from this last 2 years compared to the 2 years before that. From 200 crores to 1,700 crores. Under RIDF, from the earlier 2 years, from 16-17, whereas sanction and expenditure allocation of 245 was done, we have doubled that in the 18-20 to bring it to 415 crores. Sir. Regarding the schemes from the Tribal Affairs Ministry, in 2016 to 2018, there was only 52 crores that was sanctioned for different schemes. But in the last 2.5 years, we have increased that 4 times, and we have a sanction of 212 crores, up from 52 to 212 crores now, sir. So therefore, all these aspects have come in. Sir, we all are quite tired of this place. It's been great. It has provided us the space, and the organizations that have given us the space, we are thankful to them. But I think it's time to move on. And hopefully, we'll see in the next 1.5 years that we will be able to shift to the new assembly building, sir. Here, sir, I must thank I must thank and remember late Dr. Don Cooper Roy, who has been instrumental in pushing this project through, and today, finally, the construction of this work has started. In the last 17 years, sir, I don't want to blame anybody, but flip-flop was happening. One person would come in and they would say, no, let's shift it here, let's shift it there, let's cancel the work, let's reallot the work. Dr. Don Cooper Roy was clear in his vision. We must complete the work. So we picked up the project where it was, as it was, and we decided that we will put in the money to complete it. So I'm happy to inform you that the civil work should be completed. I don't have to inform you, sir, you know better than me, but I'm informing the House through you that the civil work is going to be complete very soon. Interiors have been finalized, and we're hopeful that in 2022, the budget will be presented from the new assembly building, sir. Sir, another very important aspect which we have been really focusing on, which I think the honorable member had mentioned, was regarding bringing administration closer to the people. And therefore, a decision was made that we must go for district and mini secretariats. Now, sir, this is not a new concept. It's a concept that has been there from the past and is happening in many other states. And the idea is that the public should not have to go to different locations, and the entire service should be provided under one roof. So if you can have in a district all the concerned officers along with the Deputy Commissioner's office under one roof, then the people will be able to easily access the government services that they need. So with that in mind, sir, we have taken a conscious decision that we will be having mini secretariats or district secretariats, one in Jowai and one in Tura, sir. And I have visited the location in Jowai. I'll be visiting the location in Tura in my next visit out there, sir. Apart from that, sir, I think this is a very important announcement, you can say, or also very important information that I think we want to give to the people, which is that for long we have been in Shillong city in terms of the congestion, in terms of so many offices being out here, which is leading to overall congestion for the state, for the city of Shillong, sir. It is time that we move forward and we take the administration into an administrative city where we have all the offices in one campus. We have the different buildings for the ministers and the MLAs in one campus area, so that we're able to provide, again, as I said, better service to the people, and at the same time decongest Shillong city also. Now this, again, idea has been talked about in the past, but we, for the first time, are going to take concrete steps towards it, and this is one area that we are working very hard on. Shillong deserves it. People of Shillong need it. We need to decongest Shillong, and this will be one of the major steps forward to decongest Shillong city, sir. Sir, having said that, I have come to almost the last part of my reply. Here I would like to simply mention some of the small issues that were mentioned by the honorable members. Some people had mentioned about consultants, saying that why do we need consultants? So we have to understand that in today's world, the government and their officials have got a certain skill set. Officials have got a certain skill set. I have a certain skill set. And similarly, there are certain areas where we don't have the skills. So therefore, if I try to do things which I'm not good at, two things will happen. Either I'll mess it up or I'll take a lot of time. This is where consultants come in. We need to realize, sir, it's not the expenditure that is involved in this will only yield to bigger results. We cannot think in micro terms in terms of this kind of aspect. We need to think about micro costing, but we need to get our vision big. Sir, I'd like to inform the House that yes, we have gone for consultants, and yes, it has cost us money. But the House will also be happy to know that in the last 2.5 years, because of the hard work that has been put in by these consultants, Meghalaya has got 7 externally aided projects amounting to 5,007 crores. 5,007 crores. If these consultants were not there, our team would still be struggling to make the DPRs, the different reports. Therefore, in the interest of time, in the interest of ensuring that work progresses, in 2.5 years, the Meghalaya Integrated Transport Project for 1,000 crores, the Community Forest Project for 950 crores, the Meghalaya Power Sector Distribution Improvement Project for 980 crores, so on and so forth, sir. Total 7 projects worth 5,000 crores have been sanctioned, sir. I think we need to see the big picture. There are expenditures, but it is being done very judiciously and is being done by following process, most importantly. Sir, certain members had raised about the issue of mishandling of the COVID situation, saying that the food was not there, the food was cold, some people did not get. So these are the same people who just about 2 days back were saying the government did a great job. So suddenly when the no confidence comes in, we are bad now. So it's they have to make up their mind, sir, what it is. But having said that, sir, it's not surprising because, as I said, the operation was so huge that it could not be that we'll get everything perfect. You cannot get 100% perfect when the operation is so massive. So yes, we had challenges, but I think if you were to look back, you would appreciate the work that has been done by all the stakeholders, all the people who are involved, especially the frontline workers, who have done a tremendous job in ensuring that, we were able to a large extent, provide safety for our people and at the same time ensure that we were able to reduce the cost, make it more efficient and provide good service to the people. So therefore, yes, sir, it's not been easy, but I think we must give it to the team. They have done a tremendous job, sir. So here I would like to just touch on one very small issue, which is very, very, I think, important to mention, that there has been a lot of talk about IMR and MMR and the fact that it's been very high. Sir, it is important for the House to know that there are certain MLAs who held position of the MD of NHM when they were in government service. They were the MD of NHM. And in the year 15, 16, 17, while those individuals who are now MLAs here, who were MD of NHM, the IMR and MMR was one of the highest that time. So that time they didn't do anything. That time they didn't do anything, but today they're saying all these aspects. Now, sir, it is important to also note that there were certain NGOs. Sir, I'm asking, sir, not to be disturbed. Sir, we didn't disturb anybody. We didn't disturb anybody, sir. Sir.
Please.
I seriously object, sir. No, I cannot accept this kind of allegations coming. Sir, this cannot be accepted, sir. Please. I want the Chief Minister to take back these words. He has been repeating this kind of words since the last few days.
Please take a seat.
No, sir.
Let him finish his speech.
No, sir. Please ask the Chief Minister to take back the words.
Let him finish.
No, we cannot allow that, sir.
Let him finish.
So these are not my words, sir. These are not my words. These are words made by NGOs. NGOs have made this word, sir. And they have said in the petition that was given to central government, saying that certain officers who were involved in this were going away from the duty and actually were doing political work rather than doing their official because they plan to contest the next election. This has been said by NGOs, sir, not me. And it has come out in papers. So I think one should look back at the fact that you had the opportunity to make a difference. You see, you could have made a difference if you had focused on what you were meant to do at that time and not prepared for political gains. I mean, you're free to do it, but don't then come to this house and then now point a finger to us and say we didn't do anything. So therefore, I think it's important, sir, that they should mention this. At the same time, sir, these officers concerned were also in social welfare. And at that time also, there were a huge work for making prefab structures of amounting to 22.5 crores for 500 prefab structures by the same officer. And during that time, sir, the report that is out is that they could not finish the work because these were ill-conceived structures which were not at all viable. But we ended up spending 22.5 crores to do this. So I think, sir, one should remember their past and their history of where they came from and then realize that they had also done their mistakes. And there's a lot of information, sir. I don't want to go into details about all those aspects, sir. So coming to just another 1 or 2 points, sir, then I'll be concluding. So there were some allegations, sir, regarding this company that was floated, saying that there are officers who came together and floated the Meghalaya Age Limited registered company. So let me inform the House that this is a normal procedure. It has to be done. The The EAPs that are coming in, this is an EAP for tourism for 700 crores. It requires us to form this SPV and a company so that the implementation will happen. So the banks that give us some money put this point, and it is more easier for them to work with this, and that's why this is the process that's being followed in most of the EAPs that we're getting, depending on the banks that are there. So these conditions are there, sir, and the consultants who are brought on board to work on this are all consultants which is being done through a national tendering process. And also I would like to correct the honorable members that the authorized capital was not 50 but 5 crores, and the paid up capital was not 10 but just 1 crore, sir. Sir, having said that, I think our honorable member from Penton Bukra had mentioned about the aspect of teachers and the fact that we have to, oh not Penton, sorry, Nong Tumai, I'm sorry. Nong Tumai, sir, Nong Tumai, I'm sorry, sir. From Nong Tumai, regarding the teachers. And sir, I think I would like to place on record that I appreciate his point, and it is true, sir, that we need to take care of our teachers. If we are here to improve the education sector, we need to. And I can assure the House, sir, that we are taking a lot of steps. It is not easy. That's the challenge. It's not easy to do it. We have maybe close to 50,000 teachers in different categories. And therefore, whatever we do, if we do it in one sector and don't do it in other sectors, it is a challenge for us, sir. So it's not very easy. It's a very sensitive issue. But with every step, we are trying to untie the knots and ensure that all the problems that are there, those which are solvable, we are trying to resolve those issues. Regarding SSA, some teachers had mentioned, sir, we should realize that SSA is a Government of India sponsored project. Money comes from them. It is not a state-sponsored project. We give our, of course, share of 10%, if I'm not wrong. But apart from that, the entire money comes from there. There are certain procedures we have to follow with them. Only when Government of India releases the funds, then only we are able to do it. But I was informed by the Honorable Education Minister that keeping in mind the issues they're facing, we try time to time to release in advance from the corpus funds that we have in case the money does not come from Government of India. So therefore, these things have been looked at, sir, and I can assure the House that we will do our best under the circumstances and challenges we face to always see that we can improve the overall condition of the teaching community because they are a very, very important community. I think it was mentioned about the MGCC also. We will definitely look into that aspect, and I think it's a very positive suggestion that was given by the Honorable MLA from Nong Tumai. So with these few words, sir, I think I'm here just to give a broad idea of how we are doing as a state and how we're taking forward. And it's very surprising, sir, that to see that the opposition has mentioned a lot of points about the state government right now, not looking back at how things have been during their time and how things have improved during our time. And today, sir, in fact, the Honorable LO has been mentioning that we should all realize that what is happening and we should go for this motion. Sir, on the contrary, I will say that you should realize now that how much this government is doing, and all of you from there also should support this government for the work that we're doing. They have said that we have failed. They said we have failed. If we have failed, sir, then how come there is no abduction of civilians from 210 during that time to 0 today? 0. How come, sir, if we have failed, how did we manage to lift the ban on coal, which they could not do for the past 4 years during that time? If we have failed, then how come the COVID numbers are the lowest in the country today in our state? If we have failed, then how come we have started the assembly project which they could not do for the past 20 years? If we have failed, how come we are investing 1,300 crores in education? If we have failed, how did we get to 1,700 crores for PMGSY? Sir, if we have failed, how are these 40 MLAs supporting this government today, sir, I ask? If we have failed, they have supporting us today, sir. And if we have failed, sir, why did the Public Affairs Index of 2020 rank us as the second best governed state in the country today, sir? So therefore, using big words and connecting dots that could be from this angle to that angle and creating your own story for it doesn't make any sense, sir. Let us look at the facts. Let us see what is there on the ground. Let us see and accept. Let us accept it, sir. So the members from the opposition should have a big heart. They should accept that, yes, there is development taking place. Yes, there is work happening. There's nothing wrong. You don't have to be shy for it. But we are here open to listen to your suggestions and take your suggestions and make sure that we move forward in that. So therefore, sir, with these few words, I once again would like to urge the honorable members from the opposition to withdraw this motion, and I would urge them, in fact, to support this government and be part of this great story of Meghalaya, of this transformation that is taking place, and be a part of the productive way in which we can make a difference in the lives of our people and our citizens and our state as a whole. With these few words, sir, I would like to resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Now the leader of the opposition or the mover, you need some clarification?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I must appreciate the patience of each one of us in this August House from the morning 11 a.m. onwards till now. And in addition to that, to also listen to various initiatives of the government, which was obviously expected. Now, when NC is stable, it is expected that there will be allegation. Now, allegations which are based on fact has to be scrutinized by the government and take cognizance of. Otherwise, the purpose gets defeated. And another part is that the government of the day will naturally be expected to defend itself. And the Honorable CM has tried his best to defend. Now, there are 2-3 things which he got wrong. When I talk about price determination, he has to understand what do I mean by price determination. It's a standard nomenclature used while selecting a bidder through a bidding process in a transparent manner. Now, he got the figure of 248,1119 crore, two different figures, 119 and 248 crore. 116 and 248. He must be aware of the story of Ganol project. It was tendered 2017, foundation stone laid in 2017. 2007. What happened subsequently was known by everybody. The work tendering process, since we were not in a hurry to allot prior to the election 2008, it passed on. We were never in a hurry. Subsequently, what happened was that the whole process was kept in cold storage. But we needed this Ganol hydroelectricity project, the first of its kind in Garhwals, 22.5 megawatt. So we revived after 2009, after we had the privilege to come back to the government with all of you. Mr. Speaker, sir, you are part of the government. Then we revived it. There is a time when the whole DPR has to be worked out. There is the difference. Suddenly you see 116 crore, which was supposed to be completed in 36 months. That was the target given. Ultimately today, we are seeing the fate of the project. So the price determination is when we try to get the best offer from the contractors through an open, transparent bidding process. That is what price determination is. Not the difference between the original tender value, which was prepared few years before the subsequent tendering process, which was required because the earlier tendering process, ultimately there is a validity period by all the bidders when they offer their bid. So it has to be revised. And the result was there was revised estimate, there was increase, but no scope, no separate, that so-called geological surprises or anything was come across during that process of time. And the work went on. In fact, I personally was appreciating the endeavor of the generation company. Some of the officers have put their hard work in following up this program. We wanted to give a dedicated fund, and from RIDF, dedicated fund was actually tied to this program so that it can be completed on time. So this is where the difference between the price determination exercise and the reference to this Gunnor project. The Honorable CM may please refer to this and find out the chronology and history of this project. So what price determination I was referring to was the glaring manipulation that chart sheet I have submitted before this August House was pertaining to the recent tender under ADB, including the metering project that is already submitted before this August House during my process of submission. So there is need for the government to come clean on these allegations. That is one part. Then another part is on the coal. I'm aware of those audits. It's a natural process. It's a legal constitutional requirement. So that auditing is done and the departments respond and corrective measures are taken and required to be taken. Who is denying it? We don't deny. Whenever there is a discrepancy brought before the government is duty bound to process further to ensure that it is correct. These are the process. That's why we have a provision of having a CAZ in the Constitution, so that there is an independent process of auditing. Now, here in my submission, what I have said was a case which gives a prima facie evidence of disappearance of coal in respect of the one which I have personally visited, accompanied by other distinguished honorable members of this August House. Officially, not in a clandestine manner. 1,41,000 metric ton was the report submitted by the divisional mining officer in response to the inquiry ordered by the Honorable Deputy Commissioner, ordered by the Deputy Commissioner of West Giant in response to a complaint lodged by one resident. Where is that reply for that? What has happened? If in the month of June this year, there were 1,41,000 metric ton, where have they gone? Who have taken it? Who have transported it? We don't know. Because the whole machinery is under the command of the government. So it is only the government who will find out. That's why the government has to find out. Now there is a complete refusal to even find out. And I have also referred to one of the representations submitted by the Association of Coal Miners from Giant Hills, where the allegation is very clear. 80,000 plus they have to spend for transportation of coal, for buying of chalan. What does it signify? Therefore, these allegations are not coming from me. These allegations are important for us, because if this is the case, then something serious is happening which is against the interest of the state. Then another one, coal and lignite is concerned, conveys its consent, making MMDR Act 1957 as well as the Coal Mines Nationalization Act 1973 non-applicable in the state of Meghalaya. Ministry of Home Affairs may take appropriate decision with regard to making MMDR Act non-applicable in respect of other minerals in consultation with the Ministry of Mines. This is for other minerals. For coal and lignite, not only MMDR Act 1957, only to the extent of coal and lignite would have to be made non-applicable to Meghalaya, but the Coal Mines Nationalization Act 1973 would also be required to be made non-applicable. Ministry of Coal conveys its consent for both these acts. Signed by R.P. Gupta. These are culmination of this law and order exercise which was with the involvement of all concerned in this August House, both ruling and opposition, including the people. Now, based on this, we were supposed to be even exempted from MMDR Act 1957. What has happened? Is it exempted? So what type of hard work the government has done is exposed from here. and also lots of other correspondence which is available in the file of the Chief Minister as well as the Department of Mining and Geology, including the PM office. So these are available. Now let me finish.
We're not having another debate here, sir. It's we've
No,
already
you have to
said,
come
we've already
clarify.
spoken.
You
on this
have to
whole issue,
clarify
sir.
on
I think we should
Okay.
put the thing to vote, sir.
Yeah, you have to clarify on this. So today I am saying that this part I have not referred to, but he is alleging my government because we had the privilege of being in the government earlier. But that decision was taken collectively in this August House. And the culmination of that has paid price. Today, unfortunately, the government failed to get that MMDR Act 1957 exempted. That's why today, though there has been huge applause.
2015, and you had 4 years, 3 years to do it. Why didn't you do it that time? This letter was in 2015. What did you do in 16? What did you do in 17?
All the records
what
in
did you do
your,
in 18? You
in your
did nothing
file.
about it. That's the reason why we had to go to court. Because once the letter came, why didn't you do it then? What took you so long to do it? You had 3 years to do it, but you didn't do it.
May I request, Mr. President? Please.
Mr. Speaker,
please
sir.
take a seat. Let the dialogue.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in course of the reply, the points that I have raised in respect of whatever is happening against the interests of the state was not replied to. Now, whatever irregularity has been detected in the regular process of auditing will continue to happen, but there was a process put. There was a process
please.
put. Now,
Please, Honorable
now,
Minister.
where is the stand of the government in respect of those few glaring things that I have brought to the notice of the government, including to really come clear on the allegation that 32 lakh metric ton of coal, which was submitted in the inventory, does not exist in those coal-bearing districts anymore. So, these are the allegations that has been placed before the August House in the interest of the state, to protect the interests of the state. And about the law and order, we definitely have gone through this turmoil of lawlessness and problem of militancy and terrorism. Yes, everybody paid a price. But the culmination of the collective effort involving people, the civil society organization and the religious organizations paved the way for this peace that we restored. We need to sustain it. And I'm amazed to see the government of the day taking credit on this. Taking credit on this. Not giving credit to anybody else but then to the government. It's a culmination of collective effort of all those friends. How many hundreds of youth came over ground, joined the national mainstream because of that endeavor? And did we leave any insurgent for this government after our tenure? Is there any militant outfit now? Is there? Did we leave any militant outfit? How many militant outfits were mushrooming then when we took charge? We have forgotten this. And so shamelessly taking credit for this. Take credit if you can sustain it. Sustain it. We will all give credit. But I'm afraid it is going to be really a challenging task for all of us if we cannot sustain it. Sustain it. So these are few important things which I want the CM to come clear on this before we further proceed. And on the allegations of those amazing way of scripting, the kind of modus operandi to cause huge loss to the government exchange by the power department.
Speaker, sir, a small clarity on the
Very short, please.
just very
Yeah.
short, sir, very short.
Very, very short, yes.
Sir, very short.
Yeah.
Sir, this is relating to that agriculture money that has been surrendered. Honorable Chief Minister said that I have not done my homework. Again, this homework word is being repeated. But, sir, I will not go on the homework thing.
Yeah,
what
be
I want
specific.
to tell you, sir,
Yeah.
that all these documents is from the Public Accounts Committee, sir. We had summoned the Agriculture Department. Agriculture Department officials have come and they have given all the details. And therefore, sir, this is my homework. And I want to tell the House that this 9 crore 2 lakhs 934 was actually a report given by the Agriculture Department themselves to us in the PAC, sir. Plus, number two, sir, I take strong exception of the sweeping remarks made by the Honorable Chief Minister at my cause, sir. Sir, please,
Yeah,
let
yeah,
me
I didn't
finish.
take any names.
Please, let me finish, sir. Sir, I was a government officer prior to joining politics. I had served the NHM from 2016 November to the time that I took a voluntary retirement, and that was just for 10 months. So the IMR and MMR has been there prior to my joining, and during my course of my short stint in the health department, I did my best, sir. I contributed a lot for the MHIS as well, sir.
Okay,
So therefore,
okay.
sir, I request the Honorable Chief Minister to kindly take back those words, which was not really, acceptable to me, sir. That's all, sir.
Chief Minister, please. Just be brief, please.
Sir, we have
No,
already,
enough.
Mr.
I think
Speaker,
I have
sir,
sir, I have
enough.
already replied.
One more point I would like
Sir,
the CM to respond is about the frequent transfer of very important officers who are linked with administration of justice. I have referred to this particular case. I know it may be little inconvenient personally for the CM to respond to this. It is specific to Limukra PS case 132-2017, and when the SP concerned has indicated that this IO is crucial to proceed with a high-profile case, the SP also was transferred. When is the government going to invite our next State Security Commission meeting? These are glaring examples of predetermined intent to keep on transferring officers who do not, or who are going to actually fulfill their responsibility in sync with the law.
Yeah. Chief Minister, just be brief, please. I
Sir,
would like to close this
yes, sir.
motion.
Sir, the officers are always transferred in the best interest of the state, and we always follow that principle. So, apart from that, sir, I think there's so many issues. If I have to reply to all, it will be a long drawn affair, sir. Yeah. So I think from my side, sir, I have given all the replies as far as possible, and if there are any individual things that were mentioned, sir, we have taken note of that, and I can personally discuss with all the members that are there. So, sir, I would request the opposition to withdraw, sir, or you could put it to vote, sir.
So now let me know the mind of the mover. Whether you would...
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you. Thank you for the time. But only on this relevant case of Limukra, because this is linked with the transferring of SP. I want an assurance from the government that meeting of the State Security Commission will be convened on time, on a regular basis, as per the requirement of the law, and administration of justice, whatever is required, will not be tempered upon, because this is linked with a very serious case. Okay. There were people who were trained to be criminal, and this pertains to this. So it is dangerous when we are talking about skill training program, whether in a similar case, such trainings are being given.
Okay,
so
okay.
therefore, this is needed.
Would you like to respond? Chief Minister, please. Would you like to respond to that? No.
Sir, we'll call the State Security Commission. Because of COVID and all these reasons, we were not able to call it, but we'll make sure we call it on time, sir.
Okay, fine. So since the Chief Minister has already replied, may I now know the mind of the mover, whether he will withdraw this motion or not?
The assurance from the government to protect the interests of the state should come forward to enable us to decide to withdraw. Because I have said about power, said about that 141,000 metric ton with a certified copy coming from the Deputy Commissioner. So it involves huge loss of revenue for the state. Yeah.
If the lecture is going to go on, sir, I think it's better we put it to vote, sir. Yeah.
So we would like that willingness and intent to be forthcoming from the government, from the Chief Minister.
So my entire reply has been directed towards exactly what was even mentioned. In fact, I have replied more with all the intentions that we have and how we plan to take the state forward, sir. So I think it's very clear. My reply was very clear, sir.
I think the Chief Minister has already replied, so it all depends on the mover, whether he is satisfied with the reply or not. We cannot continue with the discussion. I would request the mover to make up his mind whether he would withdraw this motion or not, so that we can move forward with the...
I think there's no clear intention coming from the CM to find out about that 141,000 metric ton. It's a prima facie case. Prima facie case of disappearance such a huge quantity of coal brought with an evidence. Even one. Let us go together and verify. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Let us
so
put
may I
an
know
end
the
to
mind?
that.
Yeah, may I
It
know
will
the
protect
mind?
the interests of the state.
Please, I think I've given enough time today. I think I've been very, very fair to all of you. Very fair. I think you should not take advantage of this fairness that I've been playing. From both sides of the House. I've been giving a very fair to everybody to speak, to address the concerns and everything. I would like now to take a call on this. May I know the mind of the mover? That's the last request from my side, please.
We will withdraw with a commitment coming from the government. We will happily withdraw when the commitment comes from the government, and I hope he will be happily also committing. I think you have given us enough time. I think you have given enough time for the government also to reply. He has spoken about different developmental programs. This is natural. Every government has a developmental program. Education, we know. We started with ADB. How many buildings have been constructed? We know it's a continuation.
Right.
But then,
So
yes.
I think
We have heard.
I have already given
now
my,
with the
I have already given my reply, sir, and it's in line with what all the members have mentioned and what opposition is saying. We are all together to take the state forward. I think it's very clear. So I think my reply has been very, very clear, sir.
Now
It's
final.
an assurance.
Now final.
It's an assurance.
Yes. I have given my reply.
With that assurance,
I have
yes,
not- I have not said assurance.
It's already said. Huh?
I
Is
said
it
I-
an assurance? That's why I want clarity from.
Because, sir, I would intervene a little bit. See, this is no confidence motion. In the no confidence motion, since you already made up your mind, with due respect, sir, I understand that if we continue for another 2-3 hours, it will not end.
I will not allow
Because
so.
the intention of the opposition is not to withdraw. So why not they come out very clearly, say yes or no. That's it. And
That's
if
what I'm asking now,
not, if
right
not also, sir,
Yeah.
you have the authority to just go for voting.
So may I know now, final please. Let me not repeat the same thing again and again. What is the mind of the mover? Whether he will withdraw this motion or not?
The opposition is collective in its decision not to withdraw because government seems to be not willing to come up clean. Thank you, sir.
Since the mover has not withdrawn his motion, now I will put the motion to the board of the House. The question is that the no confidence be passed. Those who are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those who are against, say no. I think the noes have it, the noes have it. And the no confidence motion is lost. Before we conclude the sitting of the House,